I knew just how good Vuba was, but even I've been wowed. Vuba takeover is in full effect. Join the stampede.
Hi, I'm Lucy with Vuba, and today we've got Nelson from Devon Driveways. He's been with us at the offices and having a look at the production facilities for the past week. So we're going to have a bit of a discussion about his business, how he's come to working so closely with Vuba, and what he's learnt this week. So Nelson, do you want to start by telling us a bit about Devon Driveways and how you came to working with Vuba?
I am a third generation kind of ground worker, surface contractor. Grandad originally started the business way back when, about 70 years ago. Inevitably got to the point where I wanted to go my own way. Been running my own company for quite a while now. I was always taught to look for new innovations, move with the times, stay ahead of the times. Way back when we got into resin surfacing. So more your anti-skid kind of surface dressing applications to start. But then following from that, the bound systems, what we know as Vuba resin today.
And how did you end up working with Vuba in that sense? Like, where did you come across us and what kind of drew you to working with Vuba?
I'd been laying resin bound before Vuba was actually formed as a company. Even though I was kind of well established in that sector, I was always looking for new innovations. Vuba very quickly kind of rose up through the ranks of the resin bound world in the UK. And I started to have conversations with, the CEO, Sean. And what really impressed me was the kind of striving to make it better, rather than just it being business and selling a product. And that's what won me over to actually start using Vuba products. I could really see the innovation and what was coming down the pipeline. And, they've gone strength to strength and it hasn't stopped. That you've already gone to be, in my view, market leaders. I've had an inside look this week in the labs, the exciting new products that are coming. And rather than just kind of being happy to be at the top at the moment, you're just looking at the next phase. And I think that's fantastic.
I think it's gone from you kind of working with us as a customer as such to us working really closely together, and we do often use your knowledge of obviously the surfacing industry, and you kind of was part of helping us with looking into VubaMac as a system. What differences have you seen from using VubaMac and what makes you kind of drawn to using it so much?
One of the reasons VubaMac came around in one of our kind of brainstorming sessions was me noticing that the quality of today's permeable tarmac bases aren't as good as they were.
And we've seen that alongside a lot of ground heave this year, especially create a lot of asphalt and tarmac bases cracking, haven't we?
Yeah. My reasoning when we were kind of looking at developing VubaMac was, if your base has the same properties as the surface, they will move the same, they will behave the same, it'll just be better. So I always thought permeable tarmac was the best base for a resin-bound surface at the time because it was closest in its characteristics to resin-bound. But VubaMac
is closer.
A lot closer. You're talking the same binder technology, same aggregate, just a different grade. And essentially with a VubaMac system, if it's laid to the guidelines, you don't end up with a separate base and surface. You end up with a monolithic surface. If you were designing a perfect permeable surface, you would design the VubaMac system with the Vuba surface.
I think that's a really good point as well, that, it's a brilliant system, but the specifications have to be followed for it to be as good as it can be.
You could take the best product in the world, and if you don't lay it to the guidelines which the manufacturers have told you to get the best results, then you can't expect the best results. So I think what we've carved out with the VubaMac systems, it's really simple. It is repeatable, and it's not a really niche skill set. Everybody should be able to do it if they just, prepare and take their time to get it right.
And you've obviously spent the past week with us at Vuba HQ, and it's your first time being up here to see us.
Yeah, long time coming.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously you've gone to see kind of Goole and the new agri processing facility.
Yeah.
What did you think of the facility? Was it what you expected?
Again, I've been around quarries, ag processing most of my working life. So I'm familiar with the process, with the machinery. What I was wowed by was just how good and how high quality the whole operation is. Everything has been thought about is phenomenal. I haven't seen anything like that to that level. And the efficiency, I think it's just another kind of tick in the box of how good Vuba are, that then they don't want to rely on any intermediate suppliers for them to deliver a product to the customer. It's all in-house, and that way you can keep the standards high and take my hat off to you.
There's quite a few different people on the markets, and you've been about a long time. What would you say the difference of Vuba to kind of other products in the market is?
It's the innovation and the constant strive to make things better, not settling for what you think is a good product, but you get to there and then you're looking to the next phase. There's so many unique products from Vuba now, just in the resin-bound sector, compared to pretty much everyone else on the market.
What other things do you think kind of separate Vuba and our products from the rest of the industry as well?
Vuba End as a whole, fantastic system, the best vertical resin system I've used. It's took the guesswork out. It's consistent and it works every single time. And now, again, with the innovation, the next jump from that, the premix. So you're not even mixing on site now. You're literally opening a bag, priming the wall and putting it on. And, it makes it for experienced contractors so much more easy, but also it opens up what was really a niche or complicated part of the resin-bound world to pretty much any contractor. It is that simple. I mean, when we do training days, I quite often host for Vuba. We're getting guys that are brand new to the resin game, and we're getting them laying to a good standard in the space of an afternoon.
And it's interesting you mentioned training courses as well, because I think sometimes within the industry there can be mixed opinions on training courses. Yeah. And I think it's really important to kind of discuss that with Vuba's training courses, nobody is kind of saying you're leaving there being an expert by any means. But like you say, people who are looking to enter the industry anyway, who want them entering the industry completely blind and giving it a bad name, or at least learning the basics to then go on to a project of their own.
There's quite a lot of stigma in the industry as a whole about training days. Few other manufacturers literally use it as an intense sales pitch to sell product. Vuba's has always been classed as an introduction to resin bound. So it educates you on the correct specs to lay, the methods of laying, and gives you the opportunity to be in touch with your sales team, make points of contact, that as you are kind of finding your way in the resin-bound world, that you've got a reference where you can ask the questions, perhaps get a helping hand, like you said, with an experienced Vuba contractor, just to kind of walk you through the first few projects so you don't make a mistake. I think, again, that's a great thing about Vuba. The quality of the established or more experienced contractors, I think, is second to none in the UK. So you've got all of that knowledge that new customers can draw from. I mean, we're like a family. Yeah, it sounds a bit cliche.
100%. And I think it's interesting, from your point of view as a contractor, that you say it's like a family, because from working here, I think we have that as a feel as well, that is what it's like. We've got the forums where it's encouraged that everybody uplift each other and help each other, not slate each other's works. And it's about sharing that knowledge. And same as, you guys will share knowledge with us sometimes and help our sales teams, which then I think means that us as kind of Vuba staff can give better service to our customers as well, because we're always trying to learn as well. And I think that works really well between our customers and our staff.
Main reason I think I came on board to Vuba in the first place is you listen to the guys that are actually putting the stuff down.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever dealt with any other company that really values installer or contractor opinions as much as Vuba does. And I honestly think it's a massive part of your success.
So this week, you've obviously been spending some time with the research and development and innovation team in the lab. How have you found that?
Absolutely amazing. What amazed me is the amount of machinery where we can test, check, cross-check every variable to make sure that the product that is being developed is like really suitable. Mind-blowing just how much of the development is revolving around trying to destroy this new product just to make sure that when it goes to market, it is bomb-proof.
Yeah. And when we last was in this studio and had Simon in the hot seat, he was talking about how there was some things we was working on that he couldn't discuss at that time. Have you been doing anything exciting this week?
It is like a hive of activity. There isn't just like one top secret new product. There are dozens, and there are so many guys in the lab, and they've each got their own little project they're dealing with, and it's busy. I mean, I've been a guest, and they've been really happy to have me in here, but it's kind of been an elbows in moment because there's so much stuff going on. But I loved it. We've worked on a couple new products this week. We're pretty much there on them. So hopefully sometime soon they'll be out to market and I can say, I help with that.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. So you mentioned about obviously Vuba listening to contractors and contractors' feedback, and I think that is really something that we do pride ourselves on. With you guys are the ones on site and you're the ones dealing with the product, so we're always open to feedback on stuff. One thing we did get asked a lot for was a line of aftercare products, and that's something we've recently launched. I know you haven't used them yet, but obviously you've kind of seen them in the lab and seen us launch them and stuff. What's your thoughts on obviously the aftercare product range?
I think it's one of the best ideas actually that Vuba have had in recent times. We lay a lot of resin surfaces. A lot of customers don't want to get a professional in to keep their cleaning regime on. They want to handle it themselves. I have lost count of the amount of emails or phone calls I get 6 or 12 months down the line after doing a project for somebody that says, I want to clean my surface. Is this safe to use? And they will send me a link to a random product. Vuba having products that are actually designed for cleaning Vuba surfaces, it takes the guesswork out. So perhaps the client you're working for doesn't want to buy direct, but it's something that you can provide as a contractor, and you can maybe even incorporate it into the cost of the job, that you're leaving a drum of cleaning product with them that in all instances on the domestic driveway or patio will last years. And again, it just shows that extra bit of care that, it's not just selling product, getting the product down and then on to the next one, that you're actually wanting that surface to look great for years to come. We
are actually going to be introducing as well a box of each of the aftercare products in a 500ml spray bottle for contractors to then leave that with the homeowners if they want to, of one of each of the products essentially. So that'll be exciting as well, I think. I mean, it happens in pretty much every industry. It's a general pack like that, I think is an absolutely great idea. So this year at Vuba, we've kind of had a real focus on local distribution centres. What do you think benefits are for contractors and installers of having more localised distribution centres around? The benefits are massive. So, the main benefit, which I can vouch for, because I'm all the way down in the southwest of England, having Vuba Bridgewater, for instance, just an hour and a bit up the road means if we have a mishap on site, we can actually travel up, get that extra product and be back to the work site and still within a couple hours and get the job done. Just having your favourite supplier there locally. So
if you've got a bit of a question, even if it's not on a work day, you can call in, you can speak to the guys on the desk. You can even just pop in and say, oh, you know that new ag blend? I haven't seen it yet. Have you got it here? And they will have. Rather than having to go on the phone, request samples, get stuff, it's there. And even down to the ancillary products, the cleaning products you've mentioned, just having something on your doorstep is worth its weight in gold.
I think we've seen that massively this year, and we've got some exciting collaborations coming up towards the end of this year for more local distribution centres. So I think, it's going to be very exciting 2026.
Vuba takeover is in full effect. Join the stampede.
I love that. So I think that probably rounds up our conversation for now, Nelson. Thank you for spending a week with us. It's been unbelievable to have you here. Everybody's learned so much, and I'm sure we'll continue in the coming years to utilise your knowledge to the best of our ability. So it's been really great to have you here with us. So thank you.
I really want to say thanks to everyone at Vuba. The hospitality and the warm welcome we've had this week has been second to none. It's been really great to kind of meet face to face to a lot of the guys that I've been speaking to on the phone and emailing. It's like we're already friends because of that. But it's been great to be here in person. The facilities that I've seen, the processes, I knew just how good Vuba was, but even I've been wowed. Thank you all. We've really enjoyed it.
That's great. Thank you. And if you've liked some of the bits you've heard today on this chat and are interested in becoming a Vuba installer, then feel free to reach out to us on our social media channels, or all of our contact details are on the website. And we look forward to hearing from you.